Live from digital address GA0993341. Available in Accra on Joe 99.7 and Hits 103.9 FM. In Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM. Affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including ATL FM in the Central Region, Fafa Radio, Volta Region, Golu 91.7 in the Upper West Region, Kesme FM in the Northern Region, and Radio Fubisi in the Upper East Region. Around the world, it is at myjoyonline.com. Coming up, GBC turns down requests by Communications Minister to close down 3 of its 6 channels to create space on the terrestrial platform as opposition to the directive grows.
What the minister has directed GBC to do is untenable and is illegal. I think that they need just to simply write to the minister and let her know.
Also coming up, opposition NDC issues 72-hour ultimatum to the police for the arrest of persons involved in the murder of a 28-year-old man in Banda during the registration exercise.
The killers of Salas have not been arrested. We demand within 72 hours that these people are arrested and brought to book.
In business, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta outlines focus of media review as he seeks to fast-track economic recovery. We will be hearing from him on the Joy Business Report.
And later in the bulletin, former President John Mahama accuses government of mismanaging the COVID-19 response. Thanks for your company. Let's settle for the details now. The Ghana Broadcasting Corporation says it is unable to honor government's directive to reduce its digital channels from 6 to 3. In a letter signed by Communications Minister Esla Usu Ekufu to the Director General of the GBC, she asked that the state broadcaster closes some of its channels on the state digital terrestrial platform. A move that has been described by the Executive Director of the Media Foundation for West Africa, Suleiman Abrahama, as an illegality and interference in the affairs of the state broadcaster.
What the minister has directed GBC to do is untenable and is illegal. I think that they need just to simply write to the minister and let her know that no, the directive you have given to GBC is untenable, is an illegality, and it is not something that would meet the constitutional test of making sure that the state-owned media is insulated from governmental control.
You heard Executive Director of the Media Foundation for West Africa, Suleiman Abrahama. My colleague Winston Anwa joins me with a statement issued by the Director General of GBC, Professor Milne Al-Hassan. Winston, what's contained in the statement?
Well, so according to the GBC Director General, the corporation currently operates 6 channels. That's GTV, GBC News, GTV Sports Plus, GBC Obono, GTV Live, and Ghana Learning TV. Now, he says complying with a request of the minister will mean GBC has to lose 3 of these channels, and that's cutting its operation by 50%. This request, the board says, will impose serious budgetary and human resource challenges on the operations of GBC, and indeed can collapse the public service broadcaster. So he added that it is with these implications in mind that the board of directors requires the urgent intervention of the National Media Commission.
Thank you very much, Winston Amwa. Meanwhile, member of Communications Committee in Parliament, Sam George, has served notice the Information Minister will be hauled before Parliament to explain the development.
We will invoke the powers of the committee to summon the Ministry of Information that has oversight responsibility of the GBC to draw to their attention the illegality being perpetrated on an agency of theirs by the Ministry of Communications.
Member of Communications Committee in Parliament, Sam George. Now, to the camp of the NDC, the opposition party has issued a 72-hour ultimatum to the police for the arrest of persons involved in the murder of a 28-year-old man in Banda during the registration exercise. He died later in the hospital. The man was stabbed by persons that party alleges are NPP thugs. The NDC says the perpetrators were arrested by the police, were released after it emerged that the suspect belonged to NPP vigilante groups. The party served notice it will fish out the suspects and hand them over to the authorities should the police fail to arrest them within 72 hours. George Opari-Addo is the national youth organizer.
The killers of Salas have not been arrested. We demand within 72 hours that these people are arrested and brought to book. In the absence of that, we will have no other alternative than to find these hooligans, arrest them, hand them over to the authorities. Our job, our mission, carry on this fight into the December polls. George
Opari-Addo is a national youth organizer. To some politics now, the Electoral Commission is this morning fighting off claims a good number of current devices being used for voter registration are obsolete. The Commission maintains all biometric voter registration kits being used are brand new devices. My colleague Joseph Akable joins me with more on this. What's more in the EC saying?
So the EC actually compares the new devices to the old one. It says here that the new BVR kit is smaller than the old one. The new BVR kit is portable and easy to carry, unlike the old one. It also says that it has 3 red handles, 1 at the front and 2 at the sides. And also states that it has kit ID number and QR code in the front. And so it says if you visit any of its centers and you compare these, you realize that they are entirely different from the old ones, and that new and equipment have been procured and being used for the current exercise.
Joseph Akable with a statement from the Electoral Commission. Still on politics, NDC flag bearer John Mahama has accused governments of mismanaging the national response to the coronavirus pandemic. Mr. Mahama said increasing cases of community spread of the virus is attributable to the government's response, which puts other considerations ahead of science. The former president was speaking at a meeting with the leadership of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association here in Accra.
Now, government is having difficulties with contact tracing. Monies for contact tracing personnel are not being paid on time and all that. And so some of them have gone on strike. Others have abandoned the work that they are doing. And so it's like we are behind the virus. The virus is far ahead of us. And it doesn't look like our national response is adequate to be able to hold the virus in check. One of the things we had asked government to do is to come out with a cohesive national response plan. As of today, if you ask for a national response plan to COVID, you will not find any.
Well, the meeting was to update Mr. Mahama about the concerns of nurses and midwives so the NDC's manifesto for this year's elections can appropriately respond to them. Mr. Mahama said the next NDC government will make the health sector a major part of its development agenda.
Our government empathizes with the plight especially of our young trainee nurses who come out of school and are unable to find places of work. In the past, we've done our best to absorb as many of them into the health system as possible. And it's on record that my government between 2012 and 2016 was responsible for the highest recruitment of nurses in the history of the Fourth Republic. We intend, when we come into office, to continue that program of spreading health facilities across the country.
Former President John Mahama. To the Ashanti region now, government has set up 2 committees to investigate the circumstances leading to the death of a student at the KNUST Senior High School. There's a 3-member committee set up by the regional minister and chaired by High Court Judge His Lordship Justice Obin Diewu. The other committee is one inaugurated by the Regional Director of Education, Mary Usiachiao, and chaired by Professor Samson Kofi Ampon of the KNUST Physics Department. Both have been sitting and inviting witnesses in the case. Love FM's Erastus Asaridonko has been monitoring events and reports.
Committee inaugurated by the Regional Director of Education, Mary Usiachiao, has also been sitting since Monday. The committee yesterday had before it Eric Adusai, a tutor of the school who administered an ulcer drug to the deceased as first aid. It also heard from the school matron and the accountant of the school, Perpetual Hiau. Here is chairman of the committee, Professor Ampon.
It's our second meeting and we met some of the teachers in the video, and then we also interviewed the matron because of some of the students complain about the food.
Did you say we are getting somewhere?
Well, yes, we are getting somewhere. There's a lot of information coming and there are some recommendations to be making to the GES per hour.
Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaridonko, Kumasi.
To some security issues now, government says it is working to strengthen control at the country's border towns to prevent the influx of unlicensed and sometimes stolen weapons into the country. Criminal gangs, especially armed robbers, have over the years benefited from armed proliferation. Speaking at the headquarters of the Immigration Service, the Interior Minister Ambrose Derry said the move is part of government's holistic strategy of discouraging unlawful use of small arms. Latif Idris has more in this report.
Government, with the provision of arms to personnel of the Ghana Immigration Service, is to empower them to properly man border towns to prevent criminal gangs from shipping unmarked guns into the country.
Weapons have been brought, but we are careful about how we handle them. So first of all, they are stored within the armories of the Ghana Armed Forces. Whilst the Immigration Service is working to build its own armories, we have kept it safely within the control of the Ghana Armed Forces.
Executive Secretary of Small Arms Commission Jones Botea says the marking of guns will help ease tracing of stolen weapons that belong to the state.
Latif Idris's report. Today's Arrive Alive message. The months of June and July are our rainy seasons in Ghana, so always be